47.12. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Nalanda in Pavarika's mango grove. Then the Venerable Sariputta approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, sat down to one side and said, "Venerable Sir, I have such confidence in the Blessed One that I believe there has not been, nor ever will be, nor exists at present another ascetic or Brahmana more knowledgeable than the Blessed One with respect to enlightenment." And the Buddha said, "Lofty indeed is this bellowing utterance of yours, Sariputta. You have roared a definitive, categorical lion's roar. Venerable Sir, I have such confidence in the Blessed One that I believe there has not been, nor ever will be, nor exists at present another ascetic or Brahmana more knowledgeable than the Blessed One with respect to enlightenment. Have you now, Sariputta, encompassed with your mind the minds of all the Arahants, Sammasambuddhas, arisen in the past and known thus? These Blessed Ones were of such virtue, of such qualities, or of such wisdom, or of such dwellings, or of such liberation?" And he said, "No, Venerable Sir." Then, Sariputta, have you encompassed with your mind the minds of all the Arahants, Sammasambuddhas, who will arise in the future and known thus? Those Blessed Ones will be of such virtue, of such qualities, of such wisdom, or of such dwellings, or of such liberation? No, Venerable Sir. Then, Sariputta, have you encompassed with your mind, my own mind, I being at present the Arahant Sammasambuddha, and known thus, the Blessed One is of such virtue, or of such qualities, or of such wisdom, or of such dwellings, or of such liberation? No, Venerable Sir. Sariputta, when you do not have any knowledge encompassing the minds of the Arahants, Sammasambuddhas, of the past, future and present, why do you utter this lofty, bellowing utterance and roar this definitive, categorical lion's roar? Venerable Sir, I have such confidence in the Blessed One that I believe there has not been, nor ever will be, nor exists at present another ascetic or Brahmana more knowledgeable than the Blessed One with respect to enlightenment. And Venerable Sariputta said, I do not have, Venerable Sir, any knowledge encompassing the minds of the Arahants, Sammasambuddhas of the past, the future and the present, but still I have understood this by inference from the Dhamma. Suppose, Venerable Sir, a king had a frontier city with strong ramparts, walls and arches, and with a single gate. The gatekeeper posted there would be wise, competent and intelligent, one who keeps out strangers and admits acquaintances. While he is walking along the path that encircles the city, he would not see a cleft or an opening in the wall, even big enough for a cat to slip through. He might think, whatever large creatures enter or leave the city, all enter and leave through this one gate. So too, Venerable Sir, I have understood this by inference from the Dhamma. Whatever Arahants, Sammasambuddhas arose in the past, all those Blessed Ones had first abandoned the 5 hindrances, corruptions of the mind and weakness of wisdom. Then, with the minds well established in the 4 intense states of recollection, they had developed correctly the 7 factors of enlightenment, bojjhangas, and thereby they had awakened to the unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. And Venerable Sir, whatever Arahants, Sammasambuddhas will arise in the future, all those Blessed Ones will first abandon the 5 hindrances, corruptions of the mind and weakness of wisdom, and then, with the minds well established in the 4 intense states of recollection, they will develop correctly the 7 factors of enlightenment, and thereby they will awaken to the unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. And Venerable Sir, the Blessed One who is at present the Arahant Sammasambuddha first abandoned the 5 hindrances, corruptions of the mind and weakness of wisdom, and then with his mind well established in the 4 intense states of recollection, he developed correctly the 7 factors of enlightenment, and thereby he has awakened to the unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. And the Buddha said, Good, Sariputta. Therefore, Sariputta, you should repeat this Dhamma exposition frequently to the monks and the nuns, to the male lay followers and the female lay followers. Even though some foolish people may have perplexity or uncertainty regarding the Tathagata, and they hear this Dhamma exposition, their perplexity or uncertainty regarding the Tathagata will be abandoned. It's the end of the sutta. So, we know that the Venerable Sariputta, even though he does not have psychic power, he is the disciple of the Buddha with the highest wisdom. So when he says that the Buddha is the best Sammasambuddha there is or ever will be, you can believe that our Buddha is one of the most perfect Buddhas. That's why you see his nickname is Angirasa, kinsman of the sun. His brightness surpasses the sun. And we know from the suttas that sometimes whenever these Brahmas in the heavens with wrong view, the Buddha will fly there. There's one sutta where he sat in the air above the Brahma and emitted light so bright. You know, these Brahmas, their brightness also is first class, because these Brahmas, their brightness can reach the minimum, I think, is 1,000 worlds. The brightness can reach 1,000 worlds. And some of them can reach 100,000 worlds. And yet the Buddha goes there, his light surpasses all of them. So his disciples also, following his footsteps also, their psychic power is so great that when the Buddha was sitting in the air, emitting this bright light, 4 of them all flew, surrounded him, and also emitted light. So that's why you see, since our Buddha is one of the most perfect, so the teachings that he has left behind for us is also one of the most perfect. The Buddha says in the Vinaya books, somebody asked him, are all the Buddhas the same? He says, no. Why? Because there are some Buddhas teach very little Dhamma and very little Vinaya. And some Buddhas teach a lot of Dhamma, a lot of Vinaya. So the Buddha says, those that teach little Dhamma and little Vinaya, the sasana, the Buddhist religion will not last long. But those that teach a lot of Dhamma, a lot of suttas, and a lot of Vinaya, monastic discipline, the sasana, the Buddhist religion, will last a long time. And he also says in the Vinaya books that after the Buddha's entered Nibbana, he depends on his monk disciples to keep the Dhamma wheel turning. So you want to keep the Dhamma wheel turning, the Buddha says that we should teach the Buddha Suttas or any other books. Like some nowadays, some monks want to teach the Abhidhamma, to teach the Visuddhimagga, all this without concentrating on the Suttas. The Suttas are our primary source of the Buddha's words. All the rest are secondary, not so important. So it's very important, as the Buddha mentioned in one of the suttas, I think 20.7 of Samyutta Nikaya, that we should master his suttas and continue to teach his. Sariputta, the Tathagata has these 10 Tathagatas powers, possessing which he claims the herd leader's place, roars his lions roar in the assemblies, and sets rolling the wheel of Brahma. What are the 10? 1. Here the Tathagata understands as it actually is, the possible as possible, and the impossible as impossible. And that is a Tathagata's power, that the Tathagata has, by virtue of which he claims the herd leader's place, roars his lions roar in the assemblies, and sets rolling the wheel of Brahma. Number 2. Again, the Tathagata understands as it actually is the results of actions, karma, undertaken, past, future and present, with possibilities and with causes. That too is a Tathagata's power. Number 3. Again, the Tathagata understands as it actually is the ways leading to all destinations. That too is a Tathagata's power. Number 4. Again, the Tathagata understands as it actually is the world with its many and different elements. That too is a Tathagata's power. Number 5, again the Tathagata understands as it actually is how beings have different inclinations. That too is a Tathagata's power. Number 6, again the Tathagata understands as it actually is the disposition of the faculties of other beings, other persons. That too is a Tathagata's power. Number 7, again the Tathagata understands as it actually is the defilement, the cleansing and the emergence in regard to the jhanas, liberations, concentrations and attainments. That too is a Tathagata's power. Number 8, again the Tathagata recollects his manifold past lives. That is 1 birth, 2 births, 3, 10, 100, 1,000, 100,000, etc. Thus with the aspects and particulars he recollects his manifold past lives. That too is a Tathagata's power. Number 9, again with the divine eye which is purified and surpasses the human, the Tathagata sees beings passing away and reappearing, inferior and superior, fair and ugly, fortunate and unfortunate, etc. And he understands how beings pass on according to their actions or karmas. That too is a Tathagata's power. Number 10, again by realizing for himself with direct knowledge, the Tathagata here and now enters upon and abides in the deliverance by mind and deliverance by wisdom that are taintless with the destruction of the taints or asavas. That too is a Tathagata's power that the Tathagata has, by virtue of which he claims the herd leader's place, roars his lions roar in the assemblies, and sets rolling the wheel of Brahma. The Tathagata has these 10 Tathagata's powers, possessing which he claims the herd leader's place, roars his lions roar in the assemblies, and sets rolling the wheel of Brahma. Sariputta, when I know and see thus, should anyone say of me, the recluse Gotama does not have any superhuman states, any distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones. The recluse Gotama teaches the Dhamma merely hammered out by reasoning, following his own line of inquiry as it occurs to him. Unless he abandons that assertion and that state of mind and relinquishes that view, then as surely as if he had been carried off and put there, he will wind up in hell. Just as a monk possessed of virtue, concentration and wisdom would here and now enjoy final knowledge, so it will happen in this case, I say, that unless he abandons that assertion and that state of mind and relinquishes that view, then as surely as if he had been carried off and put there, he will wind up in hell. Sariputta, the Tathagata has these 4 kinds of intrepidity, fearlessness, possessing which he claims a herd leader's place, roars his lions roar in the assemblies, and sets rolling the wheel of Brahma. What are the 4? Here I see no ground on which any recluse or Brahmin or God or Mara or Brahma or anyone else at all in the world could, in accordance with the Dhamma, accuse me thus. While you claim full enlightenment, you are not fully enlightened in regard to certain things. And seeing no ground for that, I abide in safety, fearlessness and intrepidity. I see no ground on which any recluse or anyone at all could accuse me thus, while you claim to have destroyed the asavas, taints. Those asavas are undestroyed by you, and seeing no ground for that, I abide in safety, fearlessness and intrepidity. I see no ground on which any recluse or anyone at all could accuse me thus. Those things called obstructions by you are not able to obstruct one who engages in them. And seeing no ground for that, I abide in safety, fearlessness and intrepidity. I see no ground on which any recluse or anyone at all could accuse me thus. When you teach the Dhamma to someone, it does not lead him when he practices it to the complete destruction of suffering. And seeing no ground for that, I abide in safety, fearlessness and intrepidity. The Tathagata has these 4 kinds of intrepidity, possessing which he claims the herd leader's place, roars his lions roar in the assemblies, and sets rolling the wheel of Brahma. Sariputta, when I know and see thus, should anyone say of me, the recluse Gotama does not have any superhuman states, any knowledge any distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the noble ones, etc., then he will surely wind up in hell. Suppose, monks, that in a wooded range there was a great low-lying marsh, near which a large herd of deer lived. Then a man appeared, desiring their ruin, harm and bondage, and he closed off the safe and good path that led to their happiness, and he opened up a false path, and he put out a decoy, and set up a dummy, so that the large herd of deer might later come upon calamity, disaster and loss. But another man came, desiring their good, welfare and protection, and he reopened the safe and good path that led to their happiness, and he closed off the false path, and he removed the decoy and destroyed the dummy, so that the large herd of deer might later come to growth, increase and fulfillment. Monks, I have given this simile in order to convey a meaning. This is the meaning. The great low-lying marsh is a term for sensual pleasures. The large herd of deer is a term for beings. The man desiring their ruin, harm and bondage is a term for Mara, the evil one. The false path is a term for the wrong eightfold path, that is wrong view, wrong intention or wrong thoughts, wrong speech, wrong action, wrong livelihood, wrong effort, wrong mindfulness and wrong concentration. The decoy is a term for delight and lust. The dummy is a term for ignorance. The man desiring their good, welfare and protection is a term for the Tathagata, Arahant, Sammasambuddha. The safe and good path that led to the happiness is a term for the Noble Eightfold Path. That is, right view, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness and right concentration. So monks, the safe and good path that leads to happiness has been reopened by me. The wrong path has been closed off. The dummy destroyed, the decoy removed. What should be done for disciples out of compassion by a teacher who seeks their welfare and has compassion for them? That I have done for you, monks. There are these roots of trees, these empty huts. Meditate, monks. Do not delay, or else you will regret it later. This is our instruction to you. That is what the Blessed One said. The monks were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. So this last part about the Mara trying to lead us the wrong path. Unfortunately, even nowadays, there are some monks, they teach the Dhamma, but unfortunately they teach the wrong Dhamma. So they are also like Mara, leading us the wrong way. Sometimes the easy way, sometimes the way that people like because it's easier to practice. So we have to be extremely careful. So to follow the right way, our teacher is always the Buddha. And now that he has Anthony Bana, he says that we should always refer to his suttas, suttas like this.